Patrick Dorgu is flying into Manchester to complete his move to United after a €30 million deal, rising to 35, was agreed with Lecce. He will be in Amorim's squad as soon as possible, and it begs the question, how will United line up with Dorgu? What changes could we see in the build-up shape or patterns? Let's take a top-level overview of what we can expect to see when Dorgu comes into the team, what our expectations should be, and how United will line up with him in the team. So Patrick Dorgu, it's a novelty here, I know, but Manchester United are about to actually play a game of football with a left-footed left wing-back who is fit for more than one game. It's not been the case for 18 months. What I'm going to do in this video, top-level overview, going to take a look at how Dorgu lines up in the team. Spoiler alert, it's going to be a left wing-back. But also in terms of what he'll bring to the attack straight away, what he'll bring to the defence straight away, and areas of development, and there's going to be plenty of those. So you can let me know what you think in the comments below, because I think Dorgu will make an impact straight away. How big? Well, that will depend on how quickly he settles. But we know we've got the here we go from Fabrizio Romano. I want to say this one more time. €30 million up front is a very good price for a player here who, if we look to, I don't know, Chelsea or City or anybody else making a deal for Dorgu at that price, we'd be looking at it going, got a pretty good offer there, got a pretty good deal. Now he's flying in for his medical on Thursday. Hopefully the deal will get announced on Friday. Won't be in time for Crystal Palace. And then he'll be in the squad to face Leicester in the FA Cup. Now, Dorgu in itself, just his arrival means, oh my God, we've actually got a left-footed left wing-back, which is definitely going to change the balance of our shape. And certainly in terms of playing out from the back and the patterns that we can build going forward. Because we've had Diogo Dalot playing there, we've had Mazraoui playing there, and it's just not worked at any point. It means we've been very heavily reliant on going through the right-hand side to try and create some sort of progression. That will change now that Dorgu's coming in. And what I want to focus on in terms of the attack, I'm going to pull up two examples, actually the same example here, but two screenshots. Now, Mazraoui, I've absolutely loved at United so far. But Mazraoui, example here. You can't actually see him because he's off screen. This is the ball coming across, I think that's from Ugarte. And you can see Bruno Fernandes there making the run. And Mazraoui is basically behind here. Where Mazraoui should be running is somewhere down there. Now, Mazraoui is actually in line with Ahmad on that hand side. So maybe that's just the instructions that they had at that point in time. But if you check this position here, this is definitely something you can expect from Dorgu. You see this space? You see that overlapping run? It's prime for that ball. Obviously, that's what Garnacho is aiming for there already. But you can expect these from Dorgu straight away. And if we go and we take a look at the starting 11, right? So let's just, for example, just keep it as it is there and bring Dorgu in. There's four areas that I want to focus on here, okay? His ability to go on the outside, holding the width, the ball carrying from defence, and the aerial qualities that he will have. And going on the outside is going to make such a difference, man. It will stretch the defence because naturally, as a left footer, you go on the outside rather than you've got Diogo Dalot who wants to cut inside or Mazraoui who wants to cut inside. Dorgu can do those sort of like touchline hugging runs that stretch a defence, that give our two inside forwards more space to drift inside, because then the defenders have to go over here to cover Dorgu, number one. All right. And actually those overlapping runs is going to be important too. Just supporting the attack. Because especially, I'm not sure what game it was. It might have been Southampton at home, actually, where you saw Ahmad down here really pushing forward. And then you saw Mazraoui really holding back. And it left a big old space here that Southampton exploited. Actually, that space was kind of even deeper than that. But it's just, we've had a disconnected attack. Very heavily reliant on going down the right because we've not been progressive enough down the left. And playing out from the back should be, on paper, all right, should be, on paper, far better with Dorgu. He is a ball carrier. And if I'm talking about a profile that we miss in our own half, it's ball carriers. Martinez is the best progressor of the ball. Maguire's very good with those long diagonals over here and over there. Mazraoui is all right at the right centre-back. But we need somebody in this position who can just get the ball and instead of knocking it back or knocking it sideways, take it forward 20 yards. We've seen Ahmad do that on the right-hand side, and it's felt like a breath of fresh air. Dorgu will do that on the left-hand side, and it's going to make a big difference. I've gotten down there in terms of the aerial qualities. If United are in a press situation like this, actually just floating the ball over to him, he'll have the strength and the quality to hold somebody off, hopefully, bring his team up the pitch. But that ball progression, in terms of his carrying and the overlapping runs, are definitely the two areas I'd say where he's going to bring something to this attack straight away. And also, he's a pretty decent finisher. So he's actually got a bit of a goal threat himself. And from a defensive perspective, I'm just going to pull up the numbers here from the last game against Inter because Lecce got absolutely spanked. Just as an example of his involvement in the game, despite the fact that they got absolutely tanked. Most duels won, most progressive carries. I've just explained those. Most tackles, second most crosses, a threat going forward with the crosses. He's definitely got to work on his crosses, and we'll cover that in a bit more detail in the video tomorrow. Interceptions, more interceptions than anybody else. He is somebody who will have that tenacity in defence. He's got the athletic profile. He will be able to offer those overlaps with the attacking intent. And I think if you're going to look and probably see something straight away with him, I think you're more likely to see Dorgu add to United's attack straight away than you will be in terms of him adding to our defence. And truth be told, right, we don't really need him that much in defence. It's kind of been a problem. We've been playing with a back five that's had Delo at left wing back and sometimes Mazraoui as right wing back. Whereas now we've got Ahmad, who's now going to be converted winger at right wing back, and that should be his position and continue to be his position. And Dorgu, who has the ability to bring those overlapping runs with the attacking intent, but also the ability to cover back into that space. It's going to be something that as I've ran through those, they're just examples there. If I was to suggest of what I'm expecting him to make a difference to our attacks straight away. I'm expecting him, in terms of the options, the overlaps, hopefully the crosses, hopefully a direct goal threat too. I'm also expecting him to help us in terms of bringing the ball out from the back and being a ball progressor, a carrier of the ball. And that really is a profile that we're just lacking. It's why Ahmad has stood out so much, and I think Dorgu will bring that straight away. Defensively, I think you'll have to learn. You'll have to learn about the positioning. He'll probably be a little bit overzealous towards the start, go forward a lot, and leave a lot of space in behind that might get exploited. That will be coached. That will be him learning the league and learning his positions. But I'm excited for it. I think Dorgu will enable Ruben Amorim's back five to be that little bit more aggressive, to not drop too much into the deeper back five shape that we've seen a lot. It's kind of worked away at Liverpool and Arsenal, but you want United to be more aggressive and progressive with the ball. Dorgu helps that. I'm looking forward to seeing him in a United shirt. You can let me know what you think in the comments below. And we've got our more in-depth profile going out tomorrow that will tell you far more about the specifics of his game. Take it easy.